on our first map here for Villa coming in and looking towards the next map over when we find out what it is. It's going to be pretty interesting, and it's gonna be very different to see MBT on this map. I don't think I've seen them play on Villa before, Infian. Have you?
No, not that I recall, and they're going to start off by banning Jackal. So, interesting choice from them. Jackal is obviously an excellent operator on pretty much every single map, and they are on defense first, so this might indicate that they want a freer roaming ability, or maybe it might indicate a lack of second floor roam, but we'll have to see. Let's say Esports are going to respond by banning Nomad, so this is a bit of a play and counter play, so they're suggesting MBT that they want to roam, and let's say on the other hand, these guys are like, well, we're just going to reduce the chances of you guys running out on us. Nomad, a very strong operator, of course, although that means we won't see the Fnatic skin.
Which is really sad, because it's a nice skin for Nomad. But, you know, we might still see Cloud9. We might still see, you know, the SSG skin. Unless they ban.
We're not seeing Cloud9. We're seeing SSG maybe. Likely to be actually.
We might still see the Cloud9 MPX skin with Warden. He's available now. True. He's available.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. So Mira and Valkyrie, the defensive bans, Valkyrie especially is a bit of a surprise. Not one that you would have called, but I guess MBT Impetus clearly doing the homework and looking at how Lèsè plays and deciding that, well, we'd rather play without Valkyrie to deny these guys the Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see Valkyrie not on a map like Border. It's almost synonymous, in fact. The only other maps that I can think of would probably be Cafe, Dostoevsky, to be Valkyrie intensive maps. You know, a lot of hiding spots, pretty hard to catch, but a very standard lineup for these rosters so far, nothing too surprising. I'm just really interested to see how they're going to take this on, because now that MBT are on defense, they are still taking in that very sort of, how do I say this, advantageous position. It can be a defender-sided map, but like we saw on screen, we may just see Evil Genius's Ashe.
Let's see whether Dexam is running that. He is substituted in tonight for Lonely.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what happens together with him. He has played a few matches with MBT, with Lesse. We've seen him around in the first half of the season. Let's hope, for everyone's sake, that both teams have improved their level of play. MBT especially, these guys. 4 points, as I said, is not far, but lose one more map and it gets pretty fine. Some early action, I heard. I don't think anyone connected.
Yeah, I don't. No one's connected with any shots so far, but it does seem like everyone's kind of taking putt shots right now. Sitting behind the new shield, by the way, for our Ember Rise update. They're going to be able to see that someone is crouched behind that defensive shield, and they will be able to sort of bring in a little information. No Evil Genius's skin this time. I'm disappointed. I thought Daksam was a bit of a hype beast, but apparently not. The Asian friend takes a little bit of damage from a cooked grenade, and maybe the Master Chef this time was not not so good with his preparation. They will be rotating down the red stairs, main staircase, and Oxion was going to try to hold the flank while MBT tried to delay as much time as possible. A couple of mute jammers are in place, and it does seem like he has one in his pocket. I'm not too sure what he's waiting for in hopes of actually saving it. But we'll have to see what their plan is for MBT and his defense, because right now Mizu and the rest of Lèsè are staying quite toasty as they try to dismantle this defense, take one out, but no, Daksam gets taken out by SMZ, and the Asian friend dismantles Mizu. Oxion gets the refrag onto SMZ, but he's already dropped half. Lèsè are not having a great time, and the Malaysian counterparts are sitting so tight and locked in right now. And Vixus has to rotate up to his team, and MBT are in a pretty decent advantage in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there, how that all fell apart so quickly for Lèsè. SMZ was not in a great position, as was the Asian friend, but they won the gunfight.
Oh no, not like this.
And that just meant that they were able to get away. The Asian friend, he's going to run away.
Oh, okay.
After it seemed that he hadn't been droned out.
Oh, man.
So that control finally goes to Lesse, but now it's just 50 seconds left in the round, and they still have to execute on the site. KGB, he's gonna deal some damage onto Avixis, send out a smoke grenade, and push them further back. And Spider on the other end, he has performed really well over here in the past on Villa, and well, oops, that's going to be Civil just cutting through Avixis. Not clearing Astro just yet. Oxyon is going to take him down with a headshot, but he gets taken down himself on 1 HP and a dream. Spider takes him away. Simranov walks in and he gets picked off. The Asian friend is wide peeking it. Rings true with this SMG-11.
Was not expecting that, Infian.
Yeah.
Lèsè have been dismantled to some extent because, first of all, I'm not saying that they played badly. I'm saying that MBT played well. They were patient. They were surgical. They picked the right time. Their timing was fantastic. And I'm not sure what's going on with Lèsè internally right now. But it does look like MBT are just so collected and they're playing their game. That's what you need to do, and they're really capitalizing on the fact that they are on defense. It might be a very different game once they switch over to attack, like we saw yesterday with Luminescent on Clubhouse. But, hey, we'll have to see as it unfolds. 40 seconds into the prep phase for the second round, and maybe Lèsè will have to change up their game just a little bit.
Yeah, right, you are. Now they're going to go over to Aviator Games after winning the first defense over on Statuary Trophy. Both sides are very, very strong. It all depends on personal preference, really. You're very likely going to be going to both, including the first floor one inside either of Library or the other bomb site, which is less seen. But, you know, if you don't win, your defenses on Aviator Games as well as Statuary Trophy, you will be in for a lot of trouble when you switch sides. So MBT getting off on the right foot. Lèsè, on the other hand, nothing too worrying just yet. Villa is notoriously a very defender-sided map.
It's got a lot of tight corners, and a lot of the operators on defense have weapons and gadgetry that work in those tight corners. Really bring out their strengths and make it hard for long-range attackers to really deal in close-quarter combat. So, using this setup, it's going to really come down to how MBT manipulate this. We do see the SMZ is in a pretty interesting corner. I don't know if they're going to be able to drone that out, or if they're going to make sure that they really check every corner. But normally, whenever I see someone hide in that corner in Fian, they normally get away with it. Daksam is going to be peeking right through, and they might just get away with murder here. And oh my gosh, SMZ might pick up a second kill as he picks up one, and oh my gosh, he gets refragged by Avixis. And there we go. 2 kills actually went down, and Daksam got taken out. I'm not too sure where from, but
exactly the same. Exactly the same, except this time it took less time. So they lose 2 members, and SMZ is the one who MBT loses. But all in all, it's a trade that MBT is more than happy to carry out. Now, Avixis, he's unfortunately going to miss both the ADS as well as the Bandit battery.
Wow.
So, unfortunate from him there, only does anger Civil.
Oh, it just irritates him. But it tickles. You know, it's just a little taser. The jammer goes out. The smoke will be prepped. And so will a goo mine as well. Ancient Chinese poison, by the way, all around that corner. And it does seem like Legion, Nanotech Legion, by the way, will be hanging around waiting for that right opportunity. This might be the right time to bring in a couple of drones. They do have a lot of the boarded walls up. And while they are wary of a possible flank, they're trying to bring in a possible opening kill so that they can capitalize on the situation. But they only have 40 seconds left, and MBT are dismantling Lèsè. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that flank from Civil has just shredded what was left of that attack. And the Asian friend joining him over on that side. Oxyon, last man alive, stuck on an island. Can't do anything. Look at that. Trades his down teammate out. And excellently played from MBT, winning 2 of 2 defenses so far. If they can go to this first floor bomb site and win it here in Dining Room and Kitchen, that is going to bode very well for them because they can just repeat that once more. Hopefully, for them, MBT will be aiming for at least 4 rounds in defense.
If they can get 4 rounds in defense, which would be a first for MBT. I'm not putting them down, but we haven't seen them pull that off before. If they do, it's huge. Lèsè do sit at the upper half of this table, and for MBT to actually take them out like this, it only shows that they deserve to still be here in the Pro League, and regardless of whether script left or not, MBT are here to stay. They've been here for as long as they have, a couple of seasons already, right? And
yes, from the start.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Maybe this new roster, not this new roster, this roster coming back in, KGBS actually joining in is new, mind you. He was registered as their coach, but maybe he's moved into the sub-player role. We're not sure. But the fact that he's back here now, Civil is also here back from his holiday. They're looking so strong. They're looking like they're really prepped. And while I spoke to Joey, and he said that not Joey, sorry. When I spoke to one of the members, and they said they're prepping, and they're really hoping for the best. It's starting to look like they're shooting way higher than they expected to.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully, the time that they have been afforded to take the time off and just run through strategies, run through chemistry again and again. Given that starting off Season 10, they were coming in with a changed roster, as you mentioned. So hopefully that KGB's experience and time to gel together has made them a stronger team. And so far in the first 2 rounds, we are seeing that happen.
Yeah, it does seem pretty interesting so far. Hopefully everything gets worked out and pushed in. Vix is pushing it all by himself. I'm not too sure if that's how you want to play.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. This is not how the team trained when I was coaching them. No longer the case. But I don't know what's happening right now, man. It's like if they're all over the place. They're literally all over the map. SMZ is by himself. He's gonna come and try and bring in a flank. Darksam is trying to push up, maybe control the Astro stairs. And Oxion's already trying to find a vertical angle, but to no avail right now.
Mizu's gonna get to work on the floor over there. Bit of a phantom sledgehammer working its way, opening so much of the floor, and it's good time being made. This time, Lèsè will be in better spirits. They haven't lost any members on the room clear, even though, as we mentioned, it was fairly dangerous. Sinranov is going to take a lot of damage from the Maestro LMG, but not quite out of it yet. Avixis, though, he's going to get finished off. SMZ takes him out. Spider-Gel trying to fight the vertical angle, almost connects actually onto Mizu, who's taken about 25 HP's worth of damage. Not too much to worry him, but as the time ticks down, every bit of HP is going to start counting because of these goo mines.
They do deny a lot of time, and not to mention, they also have the smoke, which denies 45 seconds in entrance. With that 45 seconds, that laundry room is a complete no-go zone. They will not push through that unless they're willing to take a whole bunch of damage, especially with a shield like that in front of you, and an evil eye keeping an eye on you.
So Daxam, he's pushing in slowly. He's very near the bomb site. He's not actually looking towards the doorway where someone might peek out. So the wall's going to get opened up. Yep, Spider-Gel misses the trick. The Asian friend takes him Daxam after he finishes off Civil. So 3v4, Sinranov very low in HP.
Oh, no way.
He's going to go down and pushing in. Oh dear, he just goes for the flank, but it doesn't work out. The cover is there from...
He was waiting. He was prepared. And it does look like MBT are going to be able to pull in this 4th round quite confidently. So
yeah, they get to go back to Trophy Statuary Room. And the funny thing is that these guys are even bringing a Mozzie this time around, the Asian friend. So that will mean that they'll be able to provide much more active intelligence for the roamers. Oh no, it's just going to be a mute.
It's like you're swapping one for the other.
Yeah, quite similar actually.
They're really similar operators, right? One's more on-site, one's more roamy. They're essentially the same. They're essentially two sides of the same coin, right? Data denial. The difference is that the mute's going to be able to deny a breach as well. And that's probably a little bit more important for a site like Statuary and Trophy.
Yeah, especially when you don't have a bandit on board or Kaid.
Yeah, so they've really calculated their strategy into this and actually taken into account what operators to play here. I'm really surprised that Lèsè are playing in this way, considering that this is one of their stronger maps. Maybe the absence of Lonely, the one and only, is really hindering them right now, because I don't know about you, but they really needed this win. And they still need this win, and they can. But it's starting to slip away here on the 4th round.
So we'll see how this plays out. If they lose the first 2 members in the first minute or first 2 minutes really, and waste that time, that's not going to bode well. This time, however, there is no roam presence over here in Aviator. Avixis is actually just opening it up and pre-firing it. Even an Ash charge being teased out by Daxam. These guys need to be more efficient with their droning. They could have saved themselves a fair bit of grief. Now they're face-checking everything. It's risky, but I guess it's worked out for them this time around. Good time being made, however, by Lèsè.
Yeah, so they are acquiring and taking a lot of ground right now. We see that Avixis has stayed on a similar role. I'm saying that Buck is still frag heavy, you know. He's still kind of like how Twitch, he's still playing an operator similar to Twitch in terms of frag potential. But now no longer bringing in that intel, but trying to pick up kills with frag grenades. But with an ADS just sitting around the corner, he won't pick up anytime soon. He's gonna be able to bring a little bit more presence to the scene and maybe bring in a refrag, but right now he's gonna push in quite boldly through the Statuary while he holds an angle into Master Bedroom.
Indeed. Now, KGBS, he is trying to smoke off just as he did in the first round. This time, no picks and not much damage done. C4 flies out from the Asian friend. It will miss. And that is a big loss for them. He has to start returning back onto site, and he might just do that with a flank, as he was so potent with.
Oh my gosh, did you see that goo mine fly from Master Bedroom all the way into Trophy? Frag grenade for Avixis and an opening kill with Daxam to complement. Daxam and Syndronov get countered though. One plant going down.
That's good cover.
A good cover from teammates. Avixis picking up a nice double kill. The plant is successful, but it's 2-3 and it's still quite savable. I take that back. SMZ gets taken out. Lèsè find their stride and they finally pick up a win on attack here on round 4.
That was well done from Lèsè for sure. Curious though the way that MBT chose to roam in this round compared to the first 2 rounds, where they had a lot more active presence with the Mute and Jaeger combination. It worked out really well, netted them 2 kills, but for some reason they decided not to opt with a strategy again. Maybe they tried it twice and were like, all right, these guys are going to figure us out. And, well, Lèsè won the round regardless.
Yeah, so I did see that. I think it was the Asian friend downstairs with the C4, and he actually tried to play vertical with that C4 over by the Statuary landing, or Statuary lounge. I'm not sure what that little connector is called. You know, the one with the with the sofa. And he actually tried to play vertical there and actually pick up a kill. Almost worked, but it was just a little bit off. If he actually managed to take opening a kill with that C4, it would have changed the entire tempo for MBT, for Lèsè, and MBT would have had a better time. I feel like they just really didn't secure that Statuary entrance as tight as they should have. But we're going back here again. Maybe they just have to rehash it a little bit, try to fix a couple of particular issues, and we'll see how it turns out.
Right, you are now. Similar setup coming out from MBT Impetus Gaming. KGBS, he's the one who made it 3v3 before MBT were unable to do anything, and Lèsè just ran over them. Good starting picks that Lèsè got with the frag grenade as well as the kill from Daxam, which was, I believe, the first time in this matchup that Lèsè got the opening kill. So good, strong round for them now. They need to pull these 2 rounds back if they want to have a good chance of winning this. MBT, on the other hand, they want at least 1 more, ideally 2 round wins.
Well, we gotta make sure that we understand that Lèsè, they really can't depend on Lonely to be the only Fragmeister and to be the only opener and the only game changer for this team. They're using exothermic charges far away from the site. They're forcing this fight here. The Asian friend not in a battle. Sorry, I heard a couple of shots. Vixus takes a heck load of damage. Actually, almost falls down. One player from MBT actually playing by the connector in Classical Hall, and the Asian friend actually retreats as well. SMZ will be able to pick up free kill. Yeah, well, Oxyon gets taken up there. He was holding the flank, but no one was holding his 6. So they might say that, you know what, he wasn't paying attention. He was facing the wrong direction. But he was covering the 6 for his team. No one was covering him.
Indeed, that was really poorly done. And Vixus, once again, on 1 HP and a dream. 1 smoke grenade from KGBS is just going to finish him off. Even a goo mine might do the trick. So
yeah,
Spider
definitely
placing 1 down.
He definitely can't go in. He definitely hears 1 goo mine actually get dropped by that door, but he doesn't know exactly where. Obviously, he's not IQ. Won't be able to detect that. Ash breaching charge goes out, but so does the remote gas grenade. We'll be trying to deny this as long as possible.
If only he knew.
If only he knew and only he could.
Fire!
SMZ might be able to get it. But there we go. The Asian friend cleans up Vixus on low HP. And the dream is starting to slip away one more time. They might actually come up with a perfect round if the Asian friend and SMZ manage to survive this. But Daxam's going to go for a flankerino all the way from master bedroom. Punch the walls open and she pushed in quite deeply into the bathroom. And he's going to frag out like crazy. There is an opening there. They do ping that. And he does manage to make it through without too much damage. Oh, we'll be able to pick up this kill into the Asian friend. And maybe this flank might prove and pay out dividends for his team. He's going to be able to push this. And he's going to have to use as much utility as possible. 1 more member for MBT gets picked up here. And it's going to be Syndronov. His head getting picked up, and oh my gosh, Daxam almost picks up a triple kill for himself, but it does look like MBT will be able to save round 5, and Lèsè just barely scraped through and almost denied a perfect. I mean, they've denied the perfect round, but it wasn't fantastic.
That was unfortunate for both teams on different occasions. Daxam actually almost pulled it off, as you said. He just was allowed free access to the site. No one tried to contest him. Just walked right through, ADSing, not even looking towards his left. Somehow made it through and only got felled on the cross angle. So, bit risky that from MBT, but I guess it worked. They had the diffuser and they were forcing everyone to come towards them. Capitao couldn't quite do much in that round. Let's see if Mizu is going to be able to do something this time around.
Mizu, we've seen the man play before. He has some insane plays, and he has some fantastic coordination with his team, especially knowing that him and his team are playing together for the most part in a LAN setting. The Asian fencing on 8 kills, by the way. That's double what Daxam has, and he has the most frags on Lèsè currently.
Yeah,
that is an insane amount of kills, and it's just considering it's only round 6, I mean, he could have more, but he's got plenty considering what Lèsè have right now. So 6 rounds in into the game, and we are seeing that Civil is bringing that bandit in. So oh no, they are bringing the mute. So just a whole bunch of entry denial, really.
Yeah, Syndronov also, he's on 0 kills right now. He is a strong player, unfortunately not able to really switch on just yet. Hopefully he will soon, because Lèsè not really doing too hot right now. Daxam, he's continuously bringing the Ash, but I'm not too sure if it's the best idea at this point in the 6th round. Ash, other than her gun, only has soft breaching utility, and maybe they would be better served by other operators, maybe even a Lion or something.
Lion definitely has a very strong presence for us in the Pro League, considering their meta. SMZ picks up a very ballsy very audacious kill onto Vixus, and he gets absolutely deleted. There goes your 2 frag grenades, there goes your soft breach, there goes one of your only ACOGs, and one of your hardest fraggers on that team especially. So him being taken off the board this early into the round is a big win for MBT. Will they be able to capitalize on this early frag? Mizu has to pull this off because, like we were talking about before, we've seen this man turn up big. We've seen him perform very well. Daxam picks up 1 kill as well, and he's been performing very well for Lesse so far. And coming into the game, he will have to keep up this momentum like we saw in the last round. He almost had that triple kill. He almost had a quadra kill, but unfortunately was just purely and plainly out. Oh my gosh, no. SMZ barely makes it out alive. No way.
Yeah. He was so surprised by the barricade being there, and that, kids, is why you do not barricade when you're gonna have roamers outside of the bomb site. When they want to make the emergency run back into the bomb site, you don't want them getting delayed and having to turn tail as he did. Thankfully, it worked out for SMZ, but could have gone a lot worse if they had pressed the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're gonna do that, prep it so they can just vault through.
Yes.
You know, prep it so they can just melee it once and vault through. So then it's easier. You still deny all the, because the main reason you wanna barricade is so that you can deny vision, but you don't want to deny your players coming back in. So, you know, prep it a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Regardless of that, Syndernoff will take a little bit of damage. The bandit trick will come out. It will be successful. It will deny it, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're gonna be able to deny it. The fire arrow is coming out, and it's gonna be a little bit late considering they've already expended 1. But Civil is taking a little bit of damage, and he might just be able to hold this off and pick up 1 more kill pushing through.
Oh, where are you looking, Civil? There's only one place you need to look, and he's going to turn his attention back, but he's not going to be able to get the fight. Mizu with his superior HP is going to get the fight, but Daxam unfortunately takes an Oxyon as 2 more members fall, and that is it.
No
SMZ
way.
on fire this round. 3 kills for him. He just gets up and knocks them down.
Are you okay with me giving a little insight here and like?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
I mean, like a lot of people would know that I had a hand in coaching Lesse, but my question is, why are they playing the way they are? Because, I mean, sure, Lonely's not here, but everyone else on the team has performed outstandingly before. You've seen it, myself. You've seen it. I've seen it. Right? We've seen Syndernoff clutch God sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oxyon has performed well as well. Daxam has obviously had very good moments, and Mizu has had some mind-blowing instances. But this is not how they play. Not the way.
Surprising.
It's not the way we've seen them play on Pro League. It's not the way I've seen them in scrims, and their communication has improved dramatically. But none of this is what we practice. You know, like, the people are in slightly different roles. I don't know why people are in these positions. I don't know why a Vixus is gonna be roaming. I mean, okay, a Vixus roaming, that was one of my suggestions before to him. Daxam playing Vigil, sure, but like, on that attack, I was really surprised. And Sin on Rook instead of Smoke, that's a huge mistake. The man is amazing on Smoke.
Well, let's see what happens after this round. This is the first time Lesse are going to be going on defense. MBT only need 2 more round wins to get the 3 points that they so very much want. Starting on defense, obviously giving them a big advantage, as you can see. But Lesse are going to be hoping that the role changes were for the better and that they can start reeling MBT back in. However, it's going to be quite a bit of a tall order. They need to win 4 rounds at least to tie things up, and then win at least 1 more to get 1 point.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like it's going to be very advantageous for Lesse. It doesn't look like it's going to be in their favor this time around. Silva's droning in, and he does notice that the Vigil is hanging around. His ERC is on. Is it the ERC? Sorry,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay, so I get confused with the ERC and whatever you call Clash's shield. This CC... Yeah, the CC
Yeah, that's
something.
right.
The CCS maybe.
CCE, correct.
The
But
CCE.
anyways,
But yeah, so they are pushing through, and they've got good control over the aviator and the bar and the games room and all that good stuff over by the south side. Not much contest coming in from Lèsè so far. Daxam waiting for the right time, popping the ERC-7, but then having to fall back after he puts in a couple of shots. So now they know exactly where he is.
yeah, that's right. Now they know where he is. They're gonna try and start to hunt him down, or they might just choose to go for the side push, as there are only 3 members of, Lèsè, on site. They have a lot of time right now, 1 minute, and they are looking close to the execute. But as time ticks down, a lot of uncertainty gets introduced. If one member of this attack falls, just like Sinrednov has helped, this might throw a big spanner in the works.
Oh, there we go. So, Rook picking up a kill, forward and aggressive. Very interesting. Should not have been able to get that. I mean, they should have heard him a mile away. But now that he's got this very tight angle coming through that bathroom, he should be in an advantageous position to actually bring something through. The hard breach is successful over. One actually glitches out, and he won't be able to push that. And it does seem that Civil has to pop another pair of X-Kairos pellets in order to maybe make a little bit more line of sight. Mizu picks up a nice kill onto KGBS, and MBT are falling on this attack here, except the Asian friend, who's picked up an early kill for himself. Not an early kill, a little bit of a late kill, but let's say take round 7, and maybe they might shine a little bit better on this defense, although it's going to be a very steep uphill climb for them in Vietnam.
Yeah, right now it's not looking good at all for them, but this round was pretty good. I would say they didn't lose members, and they just gave MBT a lot of pause for some reason, even though there was not much outright contention or time wastage that we usually see when the time runs down so close. The first kill for MBT, as you noticed, came within 20 seconds left in the round. So that's not ideal at all. And as I was talking about, with 1 minute, when Sindrinov got that kill, he really changed the shape of the round.
Yeah, absolutely, and it definitely started to look much more favorable for Lèsè, and it really just got them rolling. And surely their morale is spiking a little bit higher this time around. Daxam's still on that vigil. Not sure exactly why. Sure, he's a very straightforward operator, and he only has to really worry about himself. Doesn't really use much utility. But he's not necessarily the best roamer in this particular instance, just because there's no lion. I mean, sure, he gets the hide from these drones in Vietnam, but is that really his biggest worry right now?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe he just likes the K1A. Whatever the case, as long as it keeps working, I think he's going to keep sticking with it. But the problem is, as we have all been waiting and looking at the scoreline, not much room for mistakes right now for, let's say, lose 1 round and you lose 2 points at the minimum, if not 3.
Yeah, they might not be able to hold their 4th place standing for much longer if this goes on. Well, they should be able to hold 4th, but I mean, MBT might end up tying with them. That's going to be awkward.
Oh, there we go. Daxam with the K1A. He's doing well. And Avixis as well, too. Very, very early kills within the first 40 seconds. And Lèsè bringing out the aggression on Villa. Looked like kind of poor droning from MBT's side. And they're going to pay for it with KGB and the Asian friend. 2 very strong players and strong operators. Soft destruction and the Twitch F2. All off the board in one fell swoop.
Civil's now pushing through. I'm not too sure if he's got too much backup. SMZ is around the corner, but it does look like they have fallen to a couple of members here. And some members from Lèsè are downstairs, maybe playing with the C4. Yes, there we go. Mizu waiting for the right moment to pop that nitro cell. Waiting for a little bit of information, and there we go.
He's gonna detonate it. There we go. Civil goes down 5v2 with half the round left to go. This is one of the best defensive rounds we have seen so far over here.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because Lèsè haven't lost a single drop of blood. Maybe I speak too soon, but no, there we go. Avixis actually leaving scot-free. Spider Gel actually taking the big L on that one, and it's going to be SMZ versus the world, 1-5 with a minute left on the clock. It looks quite grim, and Lèsè are catching up on that scoreboard.
Yeah, SMZ might be taking a bit of team talk right now over on the roof, thinking and talking things out about what went wrong, what they could do better for the next few rounds, because clearly this round has not gone even remotely close to what they would have hoped for.
They need to realize that the first few kills might have been just too brazen. They didn't necessarily have to lose that, and they can surely avoid that. Gridlock. SMZ gonna be rappelling down here.
Oh wow.
Okay, I don't know how Avixis loses that.
He made.
It's a bit awkward. It's a bit awkward. I mean, but he probably peeked the wrong direction to begin with, and it does look like he's gonna have to contest. And there we go. But he picks up a second kill. I don't know how both members from Lèsè messed that up, but I mean, he won't be able to capitalize on the rest of the round, and Lèsè win this by time and default. So SMZ will survive that long drop himself, and it does look like Lèsè pick up 3-5 in the second half of this game. MBT still in the lead though, and after the little pep talk, I'm sure they should be able to pull something through. But we're all seeing Lèsè come in a little bit stronger here on the second half on that defense.
Yeah, that's right. So far, it looks like the defensive sidedness of Villa is really rearing its head right now. And Lèsè are on course to tying things up. MBT on the 2 rounds and attack have been very, very listless. And we talked about this earlier on, and we're finally going to see it. It is the Lion. They're going to freeze every single roamer whenever they are going to try and roam clear and possibly save one for the execute. It's going to help them quite a bit, especially since the choice from Lèsè on the 3rd bomb site is over here in Living Room. And it's a very, very big bomb site, these two, and very spread apart, which might just play into MBT's favor.
Yeah, there's a lot of territory to cover here for Lèsè playing on the Living Room and Library. Very different site. We don't normally see it get played or at all. And there's a reason for that. It's because there's a lot of soft tissue they need to cover, and there's not a lot of room for them to work around. We'll have to see what their plan is. Oxeon looks like he's spreading his goo mines quite thinly and quite far.
Yeah, he's running the goo mines in a setup that's going to prioritize information, especially since MBT banned out the Valkyrie. So Lèsè are not going to have the luxury of running one to get the information. So right now, the goo mines, initial ones, are likely to go out in locations where it's just going to give early warning of where the push is coming out from MBT. But as time goes on, of course, they're going to get more and more potent.
Yeah, so they decided to go from a southward push on the 2nd floor. Some members already downstairs on site. Maybe they'll play a little bit vertical. They do have Vision on that buck, and he will be taken out there. Vixis is cornered by all sides, but he picks up a nice double kill. They're still droning him. He's probably going to go down here. SMZ picks that up, but 1 player to 2. And there we go, Duxon with the refrag onto SMZ. That's fantastic play by Lèsè so far, and they're all fairly healthy. MBT not in a position to refrag for their teammates fast enough to really bring in that save. So MBT have a bit of a work ahead for them. Not completely unsalvageable, but they did lose their Lion. They lost their soft breach, and they're down to literally 2 guns. I mean, they're down to Thatcher and Habana, but Habana doesn't really have any hard terrain for her to breach at the moment, playing upstairs. And she's going to be surrounded on all sides. So, they're most likely going to go push down the Astro Stairs. And once they push down the Astro Stairs, they're probably going to be pushing down. Pre-firing into the Corno Civil. Just, I suppose, banking in on a little bit of a assumption.
Extremely sloppy clear from MBT, really. opening it up in such a brazen, reckless manner without checking first, and then trying to drone out the last member. The Ash charge, the breach charge not together. And there we go. Daxam's going to collect one more. No droning done really onto him. And even if his ERC was not active, didn't look like MBT was in any position of getting that kill. Just all around sloppy stuff, not coordinated. The timing is poor.
No, that's a feels bad, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna be Lèsè just clearing things out. Daxam, he gets 3 in the round, a superbly strong round for him, and looks like the visual pick is working out extremely well for Lèsè. They are within 1 round of tying things up against MBT here, and given how it's looked, given how Lèsè has been defending and how MBT has been attacking, we might actually just see Lèsè come back from 5-1 and win the map itself.
They might win it, or MBT might draw it. I'm not actually sure what's going to happen, because considering that they're both outperforming the other team by miles, by the way, on defense, it's like they both suck at attack, they both good at defense. Well, they don't suck at attack, they just their defenses are better than their attack, put it that way, right? So because of that, it's like, you know what? Maybe they're gonna tie. It seems like the likely possibility. Don't forget, guys, you can pick up your Pro League Warden, Ned Flanders, by the way, hanging out with a bunch of new bling available for you to purchase over by the store, as well as your pilot program skins, which, by the way, are which are far more important because they support your local teams and actually keep the Pro League scene alive, especially for teams over in APAC.
Yeah, that's right. Looking at Norango specifically, not having the backing of an org like Fnatic or Cloud9, but over here, round number 10, are Lèsè gonna tie this up? They are looking very, very good to doing that. Avixis and Daxam really has been the power duo right now in the 3 rounds on defense so far for Lèsè. If they can keep it up, look at that. The strategies coming out, the peak hole, reinforcements, and they're just gonna sow the seeds of fear and chaos in the MBT ranks.
Quite literally.
And yeah, exactly. And they're just gonna play it a bit passive sometimes, change up the tempo, but always the aggression that has come out in these 3 rounds from Lèsè is exactly what is needed to fight a team such as MBT.
Yep, so I mean, when you're playing against teams that are sloppy in their droning, like we saw in the last round, hopefully they pick it up, because definitely the Asian Friend and SMZ and the rest of them definitely have that potential. Phone call being rung here, they're not exactly sure it's going to be over by the statuary, and they're going to be able to determine that.
Oh, is he going to check?
He's going to check. Oh, don't reload like that, giving me a heart attack.
That is very dangerous.
He sees the top
head. He knows
head.
now.
Yeah, he knows the top of the head. He's not going to, oh, he's going to flash. Okay, he's going to flash right now. Going to burn the ADS. There might be a third. No, there we go.
He can't. Oh, no, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
He just waited. Oxyon, perfect timing on that. Just waited until he knew. Yeah. And there is the cover. So Sinranov giving the cover. So not like Civil could have pushed in anyway. KGBS has also taken a lot of damage as the first line charge goes out. But Oxyon, he's just going to sit here and deliver. And Sinranov is going to join in the party. SMZ goes down. First frag finally comes out. There is Spider Gel taking down Avixis. But Daxam finishes off what was left of KGBS. And as I've been talking, people have been falling. It's 1 minute left in the round, but it's only 1 member left on MBT.
Spider Gel being the last one left. Again, left on that support role. Probably the last one. I mean, he has been consistently being the last one alive, unfortunately. Does look like he is between a rock and a hard place in a very peculiar situation. The EMP will go out. He most likely took out a couple of goo mines, but he's got to be really particular and very cautious right now. He's up against the world with 30 seconds left in the clock. It doesn't seem very likely he's going to make it through this alive. But with the AR-33 and an ACOG scope, he might just be able to make it. One push in the corner real tightly. Might just pick up one through the desk. No, the desk will block a lot of the shots, and Lèsè clean that up. Daxam saving his little maestro friend in the back there.
Daxam, Oxion, and everyone. Basically, on defense, Lesse has just come alive. And this was a bit of a different setup on defense from them. They played it a lot more passive, a lot closer to the side. Not as aggressive, but it still worked out so very well for them. And that is the hallmark of a good team, that flexibility. MBT, we saw them try it and they dropped a round. When they were playing the Roamers, they got the first 2 round wins. And then on the 4th round, they tried to play passive just like Lesse did. MBT weren't successful. Lesse, exactly as you saw, were. So 5-5, and we will be going to maximum distance in this matchup. Round 11 and then round 12. Either we're going to see one team win it all, or it's going to be points shared.
Well, if it does become a point shared situation, I wouldn't be too upset personally, considering that both teams have been they've been very mirroring in their performance, and so far their consistency is quite unlike one another. We do see Mizu here on the Mosley. We do see him consistently on Intel operators back to back in Vietnam. So far, still consistent with the theme of his role for Lesse. And it does look like Mizu does put down and invest a lot of that pest control over by the classical hall and anywhere near that 90.
So let's see what the power duo of Daxam and Navixis can do. So far, no kills, but we might just see KGBS fall. Now he knows that the Vigil was somewhere nearby. He's going to flash it in. The drone's a bit late. KGBS not too coordinated with the rest of his team, and that's just been characteristic of MBT so far on attack. Drone coming in after the Vigil was gone, after a flashbang has been wasted, and it's just a bit of wastefulness from MBT side.
Yeah, well, with a map like Villa where the defenses really work for you and all you have to do is work around the natural defenses of the map, and its tight corners and its very short hallways, it's really going to come down to how they're going to capitalize on this and whether or not the coordination from the teams will be able to make something happen. Spider Jowl really needed to throw down that EMP a little bit earlier, but it does look like Bandit was able to deny a lot of those X-Kairos, and with 2 more X-Kairos in the back pocket, Civil might be able to make something happen on the other side here. I think they don't realize that it's going to go down over by the bar hall. Sinranoff, Bandit tricks the wrong wall and now is caught, pinned down, while 2 members of MBT are just about to push up those red stairs near Daxam.
Indeed, and from below, Mizu's going to pick up Spider Gel, and that is poor positioning from the Thatcher, giving away his life when he knew that hole was there. Sindrenov, he is in a pretty decent spot. He's got the cover of the bar as well as the bomb on one side, and everyone from MBT really is pushing this one doorway or the Hibana hole. It's going to be easy cover for Sindrenov, especially so if the rest of his team starts helping out. The 90 flank might be underway. We have 1 member actually of MBT on the first floor still with 40 seconds left to go. And there we go. It's going to be Sindrenov collecting 1. The Asian friend has taken out Daxam, but 1 more on the floor. And he's going to finish it off as well. Sindrenov is just killing everybody. The Asian friend goes down. Can he get a 4th? No, he can't. Civil with a CZ is going to shut him down and get 2 for himself. It is still winnable, but no. From outside, Mizu's gonna come in and shut it down. And that is Lèsè Esports getting onto match point after being down 5-1.
So the best MBT can get out of this right now is a draw. Lèsè turning out really big on the defense. Match point now. It's gonna be a very different game. Can they scrape together an attack round for themselves? Sindrenov pulling in that triple kill, near quadra kill, almost nearly gave me a heart attack because that was tight. It was so close to one another, and he almost got that 4th as well, but unfortunately just wasn't enough, and Ash being the superior operator in terms of firepower in that situation. That's something we haven't seen in a while, but that might be exactly what they need.
Hopefully for MBT that is what they need, because what I was thinking right now was how poorly MBT is utilizing their utilities such as their throwables. And look at that, SMZ with 14, the Asian friend with 10, but over on Lèsè's side, 12, 8, 9, 5, 5, a lot more consistent spread over there. So Lèsè has obviously been making that comeback happen on the backs of everyone. But yeah, as I was saying, MBT's utility usage with throwables especially, I felt there was very poor usage, as we saw in the previous round before this one. The Hibana just trying to throw in the flashbangs, and Oxyan was like, alright, I'm just going to wait until you throw in your last one, catch you with your pants down and throwing animation and take you out. So I'm not too sure if going Ying is the best choice, given that Ying's changes, you know, since she was last in the meta, are very varied and have made her a lot less stronger than she used to be.
She is very different now. She's more like a grade operator, so they've changed the way she works, and she's less of a huge threat, but she's definitely still a very she definitely still can break a team's formation and really capitalize in a very one-sided manner. You know, it's just the nature of her gadget, I suppose. And Mizu double-checking that his camera will be safe from any Twitch drones coming through from the Asian friend is quite smart and quite prudent for him and the rest of his team. SMZ will be rappelling in a very dangerous, very risky manner, but as he pushes through, they are going to be trying to contest downstairs yet again. They weren't successful downstairs so far. I mean, for this attack, can Team MBT pull it through without falling? And it seems before they even get close to it with their utility.
So, bit of a lull period, nothing happening, and it's worked out pretty well for MBT. They haven't lost members, they are not really losing too much time, but it's getting to that invisible boundary where they need to get a move on.
There we go. So, Daksam is roaming downstairs all on his lonesome, and they might just flank him now as a couple of drones are pushing through. He might catch the flank, in fact, and it does look like they're still unaware of his exact position. Vix is hanging tight as the rest of his team hold and cover his 6 and double up on that crossfire. So they feel like it's a little safe now, but they're still not sure of exactly where Daksam is. I don't blame them. He's very far away from them, but he's not too far away from home, and they should be able to get a couple of crossfires going here. Vix is just waiting for the right moment, and it does look like Oxyan is trying to hold this long angle, but there we go. He gets a little greedy, and he gets punished for it. Peeks at the wrong time, but luckily for him, Mizu does get that refrag and help save it. A couple of goo mines get popped out, and they drop a little short, but maybe they might be able to still provide a little bit of information. With that breach open, it does mean that MBT should be able to capitalize on this plant, especially since Daksam's dropped that diffuser by the hallway.
Yeah, Daksam over there, he's gonna help, and Oxyan too, he's gonna power on. The Ying Candelas are gonna go out, but doesn't care! Sinrenov, he just swings right in, and Lèsè Esports make the comeback happen. Down 5-1, they were winning 7-5 now, and what a comeback it has been. We've talked about Sinrenov, we've talked about everyone else on Lèsè being so strong as players, and it just seemed like they were waiting to go on defense to unlock their side that we have always hoped they would show. Look at that, Daksam with 13 kills, Mizu with 10, and everyone else 8, 7, 6. Lèsè with a strong team performance to give them the 3 points here on Villa.
What an insane